Hi, welcome to a very special new content on Astro AWANI. School is hip because how do you go global if you have a Malaysian company? Sounds easy and boring, but now everyone can form a company. This is Malaysia Baru. We need entrepreneurship. I'm here, right there. It's a very hip and swanky place, but if you come from where Astro AWANI is, Jalan Raja Chulan, you go down straight, past Pavilion, that's Jalan Bukit Bintang. On the left, you'll see a building, and this is where this cool, funky new meeting ground is. It's called Common Ground at Bukit Bintang, and this is the place to be. So for this first episode, you're very lucky because the man himself, Datuk, the founder of Serba Dinamik, he's the one that you look at the top 20 in Malaysia right now, individuals to look at. He will be there, and he's an engineer. He's also, in that sense, a leader of the community, not just the business community. The main man of Serba Dinamik. Thank you so much for making time, Datuk Karim, with me today. And of course, just to give the average and to see whether what we are doing and where we are heading are on track. TERAJU has always been looking at business and entrepreneurship, especially for the Butras. So Encik Rashidi, Jamani is with us. So, but I want to start with this. For Serba Dinamik, the first time I have an interview with Datuk and his team, I've never felt that global was a problem for them. In fact, the way they talk about the global market is like it's in their DNA already. Datuk has shared with us on AWANI before, but I just want Datuk to recap a bit on that, and then you can start discussion with TERAJU on that. For Serba Dinamik, it's a given to be global. Is that the platform that I can say Serba Dinamik started as?
Firstly, thank you very much, Kamarul Bahrain, for having us here today. Thank you very much also for your commendations, words of encouragement. And back to the question that you have asked just now, I would say that at the very early start, Serba Dinamik does not really have a very strong inclination towards moving into the international market. But I would say that it's a situation which pushed Serba Dinamik stronger towards becoming a global entity. What does this mean? This means that when we started our business way back about 1993, we go to the domestic market and we were telling those customers that we think and we believe we can be of service to them. They do not have that level of confidence in us because we are local players, we are local Malaysian engineers, and all this while, a lot of all these high-end jobs that we are looking for are being done by foreign company. Okay. So the faith or the trust in the local capabilities, I would say at that time is still quite low.
Okay, I just want to start with that. This is Datuk Karim's show. You can discuss with TERAJU on what's the best strategy, learning from the experiences of Serba Dinamik and others, of Malaysian companies going global.
Yeah, I think TERAJU comes in to assist us to move to the next, what I call it as a next level of growth, because there are tasks by the government to help so-called the SMEs company in Malaysia to really move and grow so that at one day they will also become a global entity. So I think Rashidi, to a certain extent representing TERAJU, has helped Serba Dinamik from the perspective when we want to raise fund from the public market. So one of the easiest way or one of the most effective way in our view is to get the company listed onto the stock market exchange of Malaysia. So TERAJU do has the program, and I think Rashidi can also chip in to look at what TERAJU is offering during that time, and maybe I would also share some of our so-called satisfaction towards the help that TERAJU has rendered over to us.
Yeah, Serba Dinamik, I would say, has been our TERAJU's most successful story so far. I think Serba has been with TERAJU ever since they are just a private company, senior private company. They went under our program which involved in capacity building. And then after that, we see them as quite ready to go for listing in Bursa Malaysia. So I think finally in early last year, we managed to get Serba listed. But then by then, Serba already in the overseas market for more like 60% of the revenue contribution. So whether or not being a listed company, having a profile as a listed company, actually make it easier for you to go abroad, I'm not so sure. Maybe Datuk Karim can share his experience, whether that make a lot of difference, or is it doesn't matter being listed or non-listed. Is the difficulty of going abroad is the same or will be different?
Yeah, I think historically Serba Dinamik is an entity or company that grow through recognitions of the industry towards its track records and its performance. And we repeatedly always mention that it is not a company with political connections. It's not a company that comes from a very rich family, and we purely depends on our capabilities and performance to grow to what we are today.
Yeah.
And because of that matter, we come over to TERAJU because we know that TERAJU has the necessary networking with the so-called regulator and other government institution, with the banking industry, so that it can smoothen our submissions and our approval process to get ourselves listed. So back to what Rashidi has been mentioning, I would say that yes, we strongly believe that the fund that we get from this listing exercise will help the growth of Serba Dinamik internationally, because a lot of the Malaysian banking industry does not have operations out of Middle East, and it is very difficult for us to find financing. If we go to the Malaysian local banks, they will not have the operations over in other parts of the world at that time. And to secure financing supports and so on is really, I would say, very, very difficult. So the fund from the listing, the proceeds that we secure, will help us a lot in terms of our growth in outside of Malaysia.
It looks like Serba Dinamik has proven that you don't have to be big in your own country first. I think they've turned that on the table. Yes, you need support from the home base, like financing, but market-wise, servicing the client, giving best product out there to rival the multinationals of the world, that can be done by a local SME company.
Kamaru, I would like to also tap onto what you mentioned in conjunction with our National Day, Hari Kemerdekaan. I made a very strong point saying that physical independence for me is secondary, but the independence of the mindset is more important, because how we think, how we look, and how we see the future will so-called motivate and move respective individuals towards achievement.
I want TERAJU to affirm what you have said. So since TERAJU has been handling Serba Dinamik and assisting in that sense, how crucial do you think the leadership of Datuk Karim to spearhead the success of Serba Dinamik?
I would say there's this saying that you can have a excellent business model, but with a mediocre leadership, things would still not going as well as you have a mediocre business with excellent leadership. So I would say leadership is one of the, I would put it as the number one factor.
So the advice for local SMEs would be that in your team, in the founding team of any businesses, there must be that one leader.
Correct.
Through thick and thin. Has that been the experience of TERAJU?
Yes.
Especially to go global.
Especially to go to global.
Datuk Karim, before we wrap up, anything that you have learned one thing only from going global, the advantage for a Malaysian company. Independence is good, but
Yep.
to fill in that independence.
Again, I would like to emphasize on the importance of mindset. Because if we think that as a Malaysian we cannot do it, then it's already a first step of failure. But if we have a faith and a belief that we can do it, then it's the first step of success, because it really drives you up and move you towards to achieve what are the other plans that we want to put.
Even rivaling the best in the world.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and you know there's many the best in the world in the energy services and engineering services sector, but Serba Dinamik is making more grounds. Just look at their, you know, if you look at a graph like that on the Bursa share market, you can see one of them is Serba Dinamik. Thank you so much, Cik Rashidi, for making time from TERAJU, and always, of course, Datuk Dr. Engineer Mohd Abdul Karim Abdullah. Thank you so much. You're the #1 captain of Serba Dinamik Holdings Berhad, a global integrated engineering services provider, now looking at new stuff like hydrogen 2. To know more about going global and the secrets of Serba Dinamik, we have another 6 parts after this maiden one to show and prove to you that any Malaysian individual and Malaysian company, SME or otherwise, can go global.